the really interesting elements of the house is this fireplace, and it's got a lot going on with it. And it's both an outdoor fireplace and an indoor fireplace. The courtyard is a very important feature of the house. It has a trellis in the front, sort of a pergola that's going to have wisteria growing on it, and all of the fins of the trellis pieces are actually sort of radiating out from the fireplace. It also has a window set in the middle of the fireplace, which becomes a little bit tricky because you have to detail the flue for the fireplace up and around it, and then there's a fireplace on the inside that has to go up around the other side and around it. So let's look at some of the parts and pieces of this fireplace and kind of follow it from the start of construction all the way through. The framing's put up first, and you can see it's a sort of a slot almost, an opening in the house that goes right on up. And that's for several reasons. One of them is that structurally you don't want a fireplace, which has a fire in it, to be able to sort of burn down, fall away, and have the rest of the house fall down with it. So it's structurally separate.
It's a nice detail, but for some reason I've never seen anyone else do it. You really don't want this big cold radiator protruding into your house. So here's how we do it. Let's cut a section right through here and I'll show you the detail. Alright, so here's a section right through the center of the fireplace, and let's kind of spin that around in 3 dimensions so you can get a better look at it. Okay, so here you are inside the living room. And here's outside, here's inside the living room. Oops, sitting on the couch I got cut in half. But what we do is we split that wall right in half and insert that piece of insulation continuously right through the middle. And we even use a double layer of 1-inch insulation where we overlap the joint so there's no thermal paths through the insulation. And then the masonry of the inside of the fireplace and the outside is tied together with structural ties. And here it is being constructed. You can see the inner firebox here, and the outer firebox is behind it. And that's that double layer of insulation with the joints they're not stacked, so they don't continue from inside to outside, and it goes right up on through. And here's that insulation board. It's absolutely fireproof, so we don't have any concerns about putting it right behind the firebox.
So once it's done, it's beautiful, it's functional, and it's energy efficient. The fireplace is a 5-foot wide fireplace, big opening, and it has an inset television, rustic look that is a focal point for the living room. That's the fireplace mantle. It's about 7.5 feet long, and it weighs about 1,800 pounds. It's easy to move it around with the lift, but once we get it inside, it's going to be a different story. We used an engine lift to jockey the mantelpiece into position. And just cranked it up a little bit at a time, blocked it up as each little bit of a lift was completed. Each of the mantel legs has a bit of a column capital to it, and everything has to be set pretty accurately. It's not going to get a second chance at this.
The moment of truth, you lower the mantle into place, and it has to be set perfectly, plus or minus 1/8 of an inch, because this thing weighs as much as a Volkswagen, and you cannot move it once it's set. It's really interesting to watch stonework if you've never seen it done before. Even though the pieces are pretty much cut to size when they're supplied, each one really does have to be fit individually. And here Alvin is hammering and fitting a bunch of the stones. And when here it is almost complete, you can see it's really turned into a beautiful job. The fireplace is ready to use, and it's really a focal point of the outside of the front of the house.